Coco, and welcome to the Just Gimme the Mic show, where we pass the mic so you can tell the world who you are and what it is that you do. Welcome. Check us out every Sunday night at 10 p.m. on BronxNet Channel 68, and look for us on YouTube.
Testimonial link, a Jgtmtv music distribution.
It's the weekend. Coming outside. Yep. The weather just right. Feel like I wanna go outside. 'Cause I'm really feeling good. And I'm in my right mind. As I look around, I see sexiness. Everybody all out in the street, getting ready for the end of the weekend. Got my car washed off, got my game real tight, got my clothes on point. I'm about to have a good time. Let me get in my phone and call up some hot. I'm about to ride down on her. We going straight to the spot.
Let's do it on the weekend, baby.
Weekend.
On the weekend, baby.
On the weekend.
On the weekend, baby.
We gon' do it.
On the weekend, baby.
Weekend.
On the weekend, baby.
On the weekend.
On the weekend, baby. On the weekend,
Check it. Now that we up in this club, I can feel them eyes watching me, watching her. 'Cause it's Friday night. Hey.
Girl, what you drinking on?
Hey, it don't matter, go get it.
Girl, what you wanna do?
Hey, it don't matter, I'm with it. Got my car washed off, got my game real tight, got my clothes on point. I'm about to have a good time. Let me get in my phone and call up some hot. I'm about to ride down on her. We going straight to the spot. Hey,
On the weekend, baby.
weekend. On the weekend.
On the weekend, baby.
See, we gon' do it.
On the weekend, baby.
Weekend. On the weekend.
On the weekend, baby.
Check it.
Drink on the weekend.
Smoke on the weekend. Love on the weekend. On the weekend. We do it on the weekend. Check it. It's Friday, black folk holiday. Some call it weekend, baby daddy payday. Hit the liquor store, hit the mall for a fit. Shine the rims up, everybody doing shit.
Get your hair done,
Get your tight fade on.
make your mind up.
What you really putting on, Shawty?
We tell them that you
Hey,
outside.
we headed straight to the club. Everybody ride. Hey,
On the weekend, baby.
weekend.
Hey.
On the weekend. We gon' do it.
On the weekend, baby.
On the weekend. On the weekend.
On the weekend, baby.
Hey,
Let's do it on the weekend, baby.
girls come out.
On the weekend, baby.
Cars come out. Skin come out. That's why I got up
On the weekend, baby.
on the weekend. On the weekend. Hey, we do it on the weekend.
On the weekend,
Hey, that's what it is.
black folk holiday.
Black folk holidays. We get it in on the weekend. That's how we do it. Hey, let's go.
I see you, Big Lou.
Let's go.
I can't see you, but I can see you.
On the weekend. Phil Davis in the building. Phil Davis. Hey. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. This is my new single, All Woman. Oh, yes. Hey, listen. My baby, I can't get off of my mind. I see marriage for real, ain't no lie.
Walking down that aisle.
Yes,
Her and a child.
in just a little while. And her spirit, hey, was all of me. I can't wait until I be back with her again. My homie, lover, friend, with beauty out in hand.
She's all woman.
She is
All woman.
her smile.
She's all woman.
She's perfect in my eyes. Oh, she is,
All woman.
and she's graceful as can be. She's all woman. Listen. See, I stay faithful
Gives me all I need.
because she won't do.
Don't have to beg and plead.
See, we be doing it and 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 doing it. I love her. She's so real, and she's the biggest part of me. My left and my right, my heart, my mind, and she keeps it all the time. Yes, she do. Yeah, she is.
She's all woman.
Look at her eyes.
All woman.
She's all woman. She is, yes, all woman. From the head to the toe, she's all woman for sure. Hey, hey, hey. Where my ladies at? But she's a woman. She's a woman. She's still a woman. She may not act the way your mama would like.
But she's a woman.
Pick up your drawers, wash your feet. She's still a woman. She's still a woman.
She's still a woman. Still a woman.
She is, yeah.
She's all woman.
And she's in love with me. Just look at her eyes, and look at her smile, and look at her shine. But she might,
May not cook the way I like. She's all woman.
but that don't matter to me, 'cause she's all woman, all woman. WOMAN. I'm all woman. Say it, ladies. Hey, I'm all woman. Hey, say it, ladies. I'm all woman. Hey, sing it, ladies. One more time. Hey, I'm all woman. Hey, hey, I'm all. Oh, I done found me a group. Hey, I'm all woman. She is Phil Davis.
Okay, and we are back. Again, I'm your girl, Deborah Coco, and I am sitting here with Mr. Fel Davis of Public Announcement. He is in from Chicago. Thank you for joining me today. I'm so happy to have this chance to sit down and talk to you.
Salute.
Yes, salute. And when did we meet? Aquarius Boys.
Yeah, Aquarius
You came
Boys,
up,
yeah.
what was that, like a month ago?
Yep, yeah.
You came up and you was like headlining on that and you performed. I was like, wow.
Yeah, yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
You know, and let's first start it off with shout out to First Dime Bookings.
First
'cause
Dime Bookings,
She's always telling
definitely.
me public announcement, public announcement,
Yep.
public announcement.
Yep.
So you're here today. So how did you feel about your weekend?
Wow, this weekend was crazy.
Crazy, right?
Yeah. She told me. She said, when I send you back home, you're gonna be tired. You know?
And she made sure.
Yeah.
Friday, SOBs.
Yeah, all day.
Right? 46th anniversary of
Yeah.
hip hop.
Yep.
Yesterday you was on Violators.
Right.
Shout out to Violators,
no doubt,
right?
definitely.
And you had another interview this morning.
Yeah, this morning, kind
And
of
now
like a
you're
small
here.
doc. Yeah, I'm here. So
Which
yeah.
I thank you. So I want to start off for those who are not familiar with Public Announcement.
Mm-hmm.
I want you to give us a little history and background on the group.
Okay, yeah. Well, those of you that do know of Public Announcement is associated with R. Kelly.
Right.
The original group.
And who were the members?
Earl Robinson, Andre Boykins, and Rick Webster.
Okay.
Okay. These were the guys that actually danced behind R. Kelly.
I
Okay.
loved it.
Okay. So moving forward,
So they started off as
they were
background dancers?
that's what they were.
Okay,
That's
dancers.
what they yeah.
Okay.
Originally they were like lip sync before they became public announcement.
Okay.
They were like lip sync stars around the city of Chicago. The name of the group was called Rush.
Nice, okay.
And it's
And
funny.
everybody's young around
Yeah,
this
yeah,
time.
yeah.
Like,
This
like
is like
around what age?
early. This is like we're talking like early '90s. We're like teens, like
Okay.
19, 20, 21, round up in there. Yeah.
And they decided they wanted to get together and lip sync, and but they could
That-
dance.
They were dancers.
Right, they were
Great.
dancers, so
Like,
they was giving you a great show
great show
to other
and-
people's music. Probably.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah,
I got
yeah,
it. Okay.
Yeah. So moving forward, there was a place in Chicago where all the artists used to come together. The place was called the Cotton Club.
Oh.
And all the Chicago artists would come there, and it was just like an open mic, so you could sing and perform and do whatever. And the host was actually, rest in peace, was Bernie Mac.
Oh, wow.
Yes. So with that,
I can imagine Bernie in his early years,
yeah,
right? Could
yeah,
you imagine?
yeah, he all the way uncensored.
Oh, I could
Yeah,
imagine.
yeah,
That's what I'm
yeah,
saying.
yeah,
If I
yeah.
could, I know how that could have
Yeah,
been, but
yeah.
nice. Okay.
So at the time, I was with a local group around Chicago, and we were just kind of starting out. But Kells would come there and just kind of hang out. He was kind of like the star in Chicago.
Okay.
And
So he already had music out. He was,
well, he didn't, but he did. Word was that he was getting ready to be next.
Okay.
So he would come there and perform. Sometimes they would call him on stage to sing. And actually, I had the opportunity, me and the local group that I sang with, which was called JMJ, we would perform. And Bernie Mac actually made R. Kelly come on stage because he wouldn't do it at first.
Oh, he
and
wouldn't?
then Bernie Mac, this is real. Bernie Mac literally on the mic cursed him out.
oh.
And so
But
like,
he wasn't that big yet, right?
no, he
still
wasn't there.
just
He was
coming
yeah, he
out,
was still,
so,
but he
yeah.
still had his sting on him.
Right, right.
So he made him come on stage, and he actually performed with me and my guys. We did some Jodeci, Come and Talk to Me,
Nice.
kind of stuff. So
Because you are a lead singer.
yes,
That's you are a lead singer, just like R. Kelly, just
yes.
like, right.
Yes.
So,
Moving forward, years later, well, not actually years, but that particular night, he auditioned the guys, Rush,
oh.
in the bathroom.
Oh,
At the
okay.
Cotton Club.
Okay.
They would have their jackets on with the shiny stuff on it.
They was
and-
well put together.
Yeah,
It was like full, yeah,
So we
okay.
auditioned the guys in the bathroom, and next thing you know, they was actually touring with him.
So at this point, you weren't a part of that situation.
Yep, just
okay.
yeah. So moving forward, they toured, did everything, and after the success. Now the reason they needed a group around R. Kelly was because the label was trying to market him as a solo artist, but they couldn't. So it was
Okay.
a group thing at that time.
Okay. Oh, it was a lot of different groups
Yes,
that were actually
yes,
coming out. So they
yes.
was trying to make it competitive
Right.
by having him
Something
come out.
around.
Right.
So yeah, so they weren't a group. It wasn't R. Kelly and Public Announcement. It was R. Kelly and the Public Announcement. So they were actually signed to him.
Oh,
Yes, R. Kelly was signed to the label.
okay.
So,
Oh, so that was smart
yeah,
for him to do that,
yeah,
I guess, right.
Yeah. So after the success of Born into the 90s, then he moved on to do the 12-play album, which left Public Announcement kind of.
Yeah, so what happened? From what I've read, they said there was a lot of competition.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if that's true or not. Was there competition during that time when he was going on tour, kind of, promoting the first release with Public Announcement?
Well, I mean, not necessarily. That was internal.
Okay.
Okay, that was
Okay.
internal. It wasn't, like other groups or whatever. That was
No,
just
I
some-
mean like an internal thing, like what people were trying to get more stage presence, like what kind of what was the
that was-
competitive
it-
nature
it-
within the
it
group?
wasn't.
It wasn't that.
Nah,
Okay.
nah,
So that was
nah.
like, how they.
Yeah.
I'm asking because you
I
can
know,
read
I'm-
all
I'm-
kinds of
I'm
things in
just-
the media.
I'm just
so,
letting you know that,
right.
nah.
For the record, that's not what happened.
Nah,
Okay.
Rick, it wasn't no competition.
Oh, you know who said
Yeah,
it?
I know who
Okay.
said it.
All right, Rick.
Yeah, Rick. What?
No competition.
Yeah,
Okay.
keep dancing, buddy.
So then what made R. Kelly want to branch off? Since the movement, which I was going so good, were you a part of it?
I was not.
You were still not a part?
Right,
Okay.
right. He was actually going to be a solo artist.
Initially.
Yes.
So he just went back to
Right,
that.
he just
Okay,
right. So after
understood.
the success of Born into the 90s, he went on to do 12 play, and he was gone.
That was it. Yeah,
Right,
he was
nah,
all over.
It wasn't no, all
We
right,
buddies,
guys.
come with me, none of that.
gone,
So
so-
since he signed them, he just didn't decide to do separate projects with them? Oh, that was a little cold.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a little cold.
This is where I come in.
Okay.
Okay.
Here we go.
They moved on. They wanted to try to continue. Well, one of the guys, Earl Robinson.
Okay.
He wanted to continue to move on with the group, but he wanted to kind of change the vibe up because they were actually R. Kelly's, like, everything they did was R. Kelly.
Yeah,
so even after R. Kelly, they tried to do shows in Chicago, and it was the whole R. Kelly with the lights, but it wasn't working.
Oh, wow.
Because
yeah, he
wasn't
kind of
there.
like stripped that. Once he
Right.
left, that was wow.
Right.
So that must have been very hard for the guys
Yeah,
to
it was.
accept.
It was.
You
It
know,
was.
you're traveling, you got this first release, that's a success.
Right.
And now you're coming out without R. Kelly, you're not getting the
Right.
same amount of love.
Right.
So that must have hurt a lot.
Right, especially in Chicago.
Right.
You know, so we had a manager, a guy who was kind of managing public announcement, and he knew me also from some local shows and stuff that I did.
Okay.
And he gave me a call, and he asked me, he said, "Well, what are you doing?" I said, "Well, now I'm just doing music and trying to do my thing." He said, "Well, I got a situation for you. You know, public announcement is looking for a lead singer."
Wow.
You know, so I'm like, wow. So it was really exciting because I'm like, wow, I was
They're
fans.
already out there.
Yes.
Right?
Yes, it was a
You've been
no-brainer.
seeing them on TV,
Yeah,
right?
It was a no-brainer. First I thought, I'm like, I don't know if I want to do the group thing.
Now, what
but
were you doing at this time?
trying to just, I had just came off of a situation with an independent label.
Okay.
And it was myself and another gentleman as a group. So we kind of broke up. The label folded. And I was just back home, kind of like trying to do talent shows and just trying to keep myself out there.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. So when I got the call, I was kind of, but then he said public announcement. I was like, yeah.
Right, I'll give it a try.
Yeah,
Right,
yeah.
right.
So we set the meeting up, and the guys knew me because we were in passing during the local days.
Okay.
When they were Rush.
Oh,
So
they probably remember Cotton Club and all that stuff too. 'Cause,
exactly.
I mean, it's not that big. I mean,
Right.
you kind of move around in the same circles, right?
Right.
So
yeah, small, but we worked together. They was like, okay, we know this guy, so we're gonna try some different stuff, And long story short, kind of clashed because I was excited, but they were kind of like, they had traveled all over the world with Rob, so they were like kind of like egos. It was like,
yeah, they had egos, but they
Yeah.
still needed that lead singer,
Yeah,
though.
yeah,
You know, right?
Obviously, they didn't think so.
Oh, okay.
So Earl really wanted to change it. He wanted to change the vibe up. He didn't want to continue doing the R. Kelly stuff or whatever. He said, we need a new vibe,
Right.
and he knew that
Well, it wasn't working.
Right.
Right. It
Right.
just was. He had no choice but to try and change it.
Exactly.
Right. Right.
Exactly. So the guys, they fell out. They had some issues. There were fights
Wow.
in the studio, recording and stuff like that. And eventually, the original members just kind of fell off. So that left.
It was like a split. Did some still want to do the R. Kelly thing, and some wanted to go in another direction, or?
Well, they just didn't want to do what Earl wanted to do.
Right.
It's like, okay,
Right.
you don't
it's,
make the
it's more. It's more than just you.
Right.
It's three of us in this group, right? Yeah.
Right. But
So
I
that makes sense.
think Earl had the right idea.
You did.
Yeah, because
the direction that he was thinking about going in.
Yeah. So after these guys decided to leave, he said, "Well, do you know any guys?" Of course I did.
Right.
So I
Because you
went
was
out.
on the circuit. You had your people too,
Exactly,
right?
Exactly. So went out scouting, and I brought in a gentleman by the name of Euclid Gray. And it was us. We started working, writing songs. And actually, the biggest record that we had was like one of the first records that we wrote before
one?
we Body Bumping.
Oh.
Yeah,
Right.
yippee-yi-yo,
Right.
bump your body. Yeah,
Yeah, right.
So that was like the first record that we wrote.
Okay.
This was before we signed on to A&M Records.
Okay.
And so moving forward.
Any contact from R. Kelly at this time, or he's just
No,
12 play gone?
That's
He's
it.
just,
Yeah, he gone. Gone.
But he
doing
was
his
a little
thing.
busy from what we
Yeah.
saw from the doc. He's been very busy.
Yeah.
You know, he didn't
yeah.
have time to be
Right,
thinking about
right.
public
Not at all.
announcement. He has his own things
Not at
going
all.
on.
Not
so,
at all.
right, continue.
Not at all.
Right?
Right. So, we working, writing music and stuff, and getting our management team together, and so one of the other members kind of, decided he wanted to leave. And then
So how many different members did you have? Like you said the originals branched off.
Yeah, there were three of them.
Uh-huh.
Okay, so 3 left, and then I brought in 2.
Two more.
2 more.
So you only had one original
One original,
member
yeah,
at that.
Earl Robinson. Yeah,
Wow,
yeah,
okay.
Yeah, so it's Felony Davis, Glenn Wright, Euclid Gray, and
Okay,
Earl Robinson.
right.
And Earl Robinson was from the original group. So we started writing, doing music and stuff like that. And we wrote our biggest record, and which was body bumping.
Right, that was a big one.
Yeah, and we got the music director from WGCI. His name was
Wow.
Donnie Cologne, and he came in to the studio. He listened to the record, and he took it. We didn't mix it, master it. He took it,
As
played
is,
it on
that was
played it on
that.
the radio, and we was gone after that.
So now if we fast forward a little bit, like tell us some of the highlights. Tell us like a highlight that you had with the group, as far as in the beginning stages. Like, was it a fact where once you did body
Body bumping.
bumping, how long did that kind of last for the group as far as you being out doing a lot of shows?
Okay.
Like, what are the kind of the dynamics that happened with that?
It started instantly because it became like Chicago. It became like a smash.
Right.
In the Midwest.
And I remember here in New York, we were like rocking off that too.
Well, see, that was actually after we got signed and we did the video and did the whole big thing. But locally,
It was on fire from the beginning.
Chicago, Detroit, Indianapolis,
Right.
Yeah,
Nice.
so we started touring. We were touring before we got signed. And we was just touring with all of the major artists, Drew Hill and all of these artists, and we weren't
Nice.
signed. Yeah, so we had a chance to come to New York and actually, do some performances for some big labels.
Okay, good.
And that was the highlight of it. I had a chance to sing. Actually, we performed for Clive Davis.
Nice. That's
And,
ultimate
yeah,
right
yeah,
then at
yeah,
that time, right?
yeah, yeah, and
So then what, like after a certain, like how long did that time span actually work for the group? Like, was it a certain amount of time? Like, did y'all kind of fall off again? Because at some point, I didn't really hear too much about
Okay.
public announcements. So what happened? Like,
Okay. Well, the body bumping and the It's About Time album, which was All Work No Play.
Okay.
That was from 90, I want to say 98 to probably 99, 2000.
okay.
Okay.
That's a good stretch.
Yeah.
that's
Well, what happened was, at that time, a lot of the labels were downsizing.
Yeah, it was a lot of industry changes
Yes.
at that time.
Yes.
And what's popular and good today, that fades out.
Right.
Music started changing.
Yes, it did.
The look of artists
Yeah.
started changing.
Yeah.
Not too much R&B.
Right. Well, it was a lot of hip hop.
Right, a lot
Yeah,
of hip
so
hop.
the
They started
competition-
mixing the two concepts
Yes.
first, the hip hop and the R&B.
Yes.
And now it just mainly
was
went
hip-hop.
to hip hop.
Yeah, so we were
so
competing
what happened
against
to
that.
R&B, right?
We was competing against that, trying to be, and we were known for ballads.
Right.
And music had it was start up tempo.
It did take a shift.
So we started. Actually, the label that we were signed to went under A&M.
Wow.
So we were dropped.
Right.
From A&M Records.
So now you were looking for a new
new
label,
label home, yeah.
to pick up your situation.
yeah.
And at the same time, the industry is changing.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
They're looking for different artists. They're
Exactly.
not looking for groups.
Right.
They're looking for a rapper. They can just pay him
Hip-hop,
one money.
yep.
They don't have to worry about if you're going to split,
Cost,
if you're going to
right,
stay together.
right.
It's cheaper to fly
Longevity.
one person.
Yeah.
All of that, right?
Yeah.
All
yeah.
of that started
Yeah.
changing. So I asked you that question just to point out what we're talking about right
Yes,
now, how
yes.
the industry has changed.
Actually, it has.
There was definitely a turn that a lot of people didn't actually visually know what was going on. That
Right.
definitely took place within music.
Right.
So I felt that was an important
Yeah,
part to bring
absolutely.
out. I've run into so many R&B groups like yourself and still got the voices.
Yeah,
The voices
yeah,
never change. Your voice
yeah.
is just as strong, it seems like, as it was when you first came out.
Yeah, yeah.
And the song you performed for us today, or that I need to
Thank you.
download that. I need to get that song.
Thank you. Oh, we got
I
you.
need to put it on
We got you. We
repeat.
got you.
Because that is a beautiful record.
Thank you. Yeah.
And it's a shame that we don't see that kind of emotion anymore
Yeah.
between men and women when it comes to music, right?
Yeah, right, family,
I
and
was
it's
listening
important.
to Barry White this morning and
Yeah.
some other artists. Like, we don't have that
Yeah.
same, the generations coming up now, they don't have that
Right.
kind of passion
Right,
to
right.
really relate to in their music.
Exactly,
They got to go
exactly.
back to what their mother was listening
Yeah,
to,
yeah.
you know?
And a lot of new artists are starting to kind of take that music and kind of fuse it into a lot of what they're doing right now.
So it just has a different feel. I guess it has the same concept, the same meaning, but it just sounds a little different.
Right.
It's not live bands.
Right.
It's not. It's a lot of
Right.
things that are missing.
Exactly,
Right. But
exactly.
we're gonna get back to Fel Davis. So
No
it's
doubt.
for you. What is going on right now today?
Just working on some solo stuff. I have music out. You can find my music on all social outlets, iTunes, Spotify. Just Google Phil Davis.
Yes, Google.
And
yes.
it's all there.
Yes, there's a lot of music. I
Yeah.
see some videos.
Yes.
We have one playing today
Yes.
while you perform.
Yes, yes.
So how does it feel now? Like, are you taking the solo route? Are you getting back with the group? What's the status with that?
Well, the
I
group-
mean, not saying that you left the group.
Right.
Is the group going to come out with a
Yes,
project?
yes,
Okay, so
yes,
what's happening
yes,
with
yes.
that?
We have music now that we're working on. Actually,
Okay.
we're always working in the studio, so we have tons of music. We're just trying to find the right platform.
Okay.
Especially
Are you
now.
under management now, or are
Yes.
you kind of doing it?
Yes.
Oh, you
yes,
are.
Yes,
Okay.
Yes. It's kind of like a co-op thing.
Okay. That's
at
a new
this
kind of
stage.
term.
Yeah.
A
yeah.
situation
yeah.
for today, right?
Yeah. As you get older, you kind of like understand how that thing works.
Mm-hmm.
So definitely music out, public announcement. You can just Google. We have music out online.
Oh, yeah, I know. I've seen it.
Spotify.
It's definitely lots of music
iTunes.
out.
Yeah. So it's
So
all
how
there.
is this recent situation? I cannot let you go without bringing up something.
Mm-hmm.
When it comes to all this stuff with R. Kelly now today, I know I don't know if you still have contact or anything like that, but how does it feel now, recently, all these women with all these accusations coming out, and you
Mm-hmm.
actually know this man, like you know, it's like what are your feelings about that?
Well,
like,
the accusations allegedly.
allegedly, right? Alleged accusations.
I don't condone, personally, because I'm from a family of strong women. My mother, rest in peace, raised some strong women, my sisters, and and the teachings,
Right.
that she instilled into me as a kid growing up into a man. I just stay away from that, and I try to, we got a little backlash from that, for public announcement being associated.
Oh, they did
Yeah,
try to associate.
Yes, they did.
I did see an interview online. I might have been Robinson. Robinson, what's his name?
Earl.
It might have been Earl. And I know I've seen some comments about it. Some saying that they didn't see anything at all. Some it's like a little insinuation.
Yeah.
Maybe saw
Yeah,
something.
yeah.
And I guess being young, you're performing. It's not like you're watching this man
Right,
every minute
exactly.
of the day. You don't know exactly
Right.
what he's doing.
Right.
Or nothing like that. Especially if you're not down with that.
Exactly.
You're not really paying
Right,
attention to the
right.
signs. So I'm just saying, years later, with that, I just watched Never Never Land. It's so much.
Yeah,
It's just
yeah,
amazing
yeah.
how people could be manipulated. I'm not even saying it's true, because I don't know.
Right.
But it's just saying the cycle, the process. When you
Yeah.
sit back and think about people of power that may misuse it in any kind
Has
of way.
been doing it for so long, but
right.
we're in a different time now.
We are,
you know,
right?
we're so conscious of everything now. See, back in the day, it was okay as an artist, to have like a young protege. This is my little artist. and,
Right.
it wasn't it didn't look weird.
No, right.
But now you just can't do that.
You better have
That
the little
ain't-
artist, the
and
mother, the father.
Exactly.
And, they all
Exactly.
got to be there. Or I don't even want to see you
Yeah,
walking with a little
yeah,
kid by yourself.
yeah,
And
yeah,
that's what I'm just
yeah,
saying in
yeah.
general.
Yeah, but there was a time
because it's
yeah,
scary.
Yeah, that was a time when that was oh yeah, you got your little art. Yeah, and they was like everywhere with you, and but you just can't do that now. And this thing has been going on, with whatever the accusations are, and not necessarily with Buddy, but just period.
Just period.
Just
but
in
now
general,
it just seems like
just
there's
in a-
something in the air.
Yeah.
It's like every time you turn around, somebody's popping up this story,
Yeah,
that story.
yeah.
So, and it's not to say this black art. I'm saying
Right.
universally,
Period. Yeah,
just
universal, right,
across
right.
the
But
board.
just
It's
because
just a
of the
lot
time.
of that coming out
Yeah.
right now today
Yeah.
in the news.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
what are some of the things we can expect to hear from Val Davis? What are some of the topics you'd like to talk about?
Well, again, definitely my music. I'm actually working on trying to do some stuff on the big screen.
Good. Some
Some
acting?
acting,
All
yeah,
right,
yeah,
all right.
definitely that. I have my daughters,
Nice.
who you can find music online on them
they
too.
also?
Yeah, both of them sing.
Nice.
So I'm working that. And that's the battle, but.
Because you got your career,
Yeah.
and you also have to manage their
Yeah.
career. But at least you got the
Yeah.
inside.
Yeah,
Got the
definitely.
inside
Right.
information on that, you know?
Right. Also, I heard the young lady that was up here was talking about the domestic violence kind of thing. One of the plays that I did was Battered Not Broken, which had something to do with domestic violence, and that's something that I really want to, like my single All Woman, and my management Julie and I was talking about making that, taking that and kind of centering that around women
Yeah.
battered women.
That
you
would
know,
be
and,
that would
you
be
know,
awesome to
yeah.
start there. We did a nice event with first-time bookings at SOBs for domestic violence
Yes,
as well.
yes.
Do you have any regrets? Anything you wish would have happened for public announcement for yourself since you've been in the industry?
You know what? To be honest with you, as a new artist coming in, and this is just kind of, I want to say back in the day, you know, when I came into the business, which was like the early 90s, how you don't know the business. You know, you
A lot of
learn,
artists. We saw that with New Edition.
Yeah,
We see that with
yeah.
a lot of artists that came out.
Yeah, you just kind of have to learn as you go. Nowadays, these young kids got it. You know, it's like they're weaker and wiser.
Right.
You know, they come
Right.
in, they social media, everything, they just boom.
And they really have no choice.
Right, right.
Because the labels are not signing you.
Exactly.
And if
Well,
you're
they don't need 'em.
smart, you looked at the experiences that other people went through,
Right.
and you try to make yourself better from it, right?
Right, absolutely
So
right. Yeah. Mm-hmm,
you're right. It is a different time for that. So you
yeah.
wish that you probably knew the business side a little bit more?
Coming in, you know, eventually, you know, I got it, you know,
Mm-hmm.
and just kind of really trying to keep the right people around me, you know, as far as, you know, keeping my focus. But I eventually got it. But just kind of coming in, I
Right.
wish that would have been more of my focus than just the music side of it.
It's just like you see, the people, New Edition, for example, they were signing contracts for $1,000 in the VHS.
Yeah.
You know, it's like
Yeah.
you just didn't know at that
Yeah.
time.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
as time passed on, we did learn a lot, and you
Yeah.
learned a lot as well. And now you know what to look for with your daughters,
Right,
right?
right.
Are you
Here's the-
looking to manage other artists, or you sticking with your daughters
Well,
right now?
them, you
Okay,
know,
good.
they won't allow me to.
They're like us. We
Yeah,
can take
yeah,
care
they
of
won't
us,
allow
right?
me. And it's a lot of artists have come my way, you know, but they like, Dad, quit playing.
Well, I just want to say I thank you so much
Thank you.
for joining me today and sharing your story with us.
Thank you.
I mean, your new music is awesome.
Yes,
it's
thank
like,
you,
you
thank
know,
you.
it sounds so refreshing and good to hear.
All woman.
And where can they follow you, find your music?
Yes,
where
yes.
can they go?
All social media outlets, all woman, wherever you, just Fel Davis, Google Fel Davis,
And that's it.
and it's come up. But my social media is Fel Davis. That's FEL Davis.
Okay.
Okay. iTunes, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, Fel Davis.
Nice.
And it's there.
Well, thank you. Shout out again to First Time Bookings.
Yes.
And everybody, we'll be right back with more. We still have Pretty Militant in the building, and we have Yellow Diamond coming up. We'll be back.